Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Jay Williams for Good News Now. I'm here along with Dan Hoff. We're in Wallingford, Connecticut, home of public access icon, the thunderous one, Tom Dacey. We're here to interview Mr. Dacey at American Steam's 92 Pontiac Street in Wallingford.
Jay, I can't wait to get to American Steam to try their delicious steamed food, check out what's going on with Tom.
Definitely. It'd be nice to see him.
I'll fit in there?
Yeah. Whenever you're ready.
Start out with his...
When you're ready.
Hi, I'm Robert Hoff,
I'm Jay Williams.
and we're here with our special guest today on Good News Now, Mr. Tom Dacey, Public Access Superstar.
That's
Tom,
great.
Hello, gentlemen. Thank you for having me.
thank you
Definitely.
for joining us.
My pleasure.
Definitely. It's a pleasure having you here on Good News Now. For our viewers at home who don't know who this is one of the most iconic, legendary figures in all public access television. How many years has it been since Talking with Tom has been on the air over in North Haven?
21 years.
21 years.
We debuted in January of 1994.
I remember being in North Haven at the time and watching you on television on Channel 18 before I had even met you or gotten involved myself in public access, and I was just amazed at some of the things you did. So how did it all start for you? What made you decide to take an interest in that number 18, or back then it was 33?
Well, let me just start by saying my interest in broadcasting goes way back. At an early age, I was very fascinated with radio, and I always wanted to be a disc jockey. And for years, WELI 960 was a staple in my house. So at an early age, I was taken over to WELI and given a tour by Mr. Ron Romer, who was a staple in morning radio for many years. And through the years, I've met many people in the business, including Jerry Christopher, Danny Lyons, John Cadillac Seville, and I've maintained those relationships up until this day. And more or less, that's how the interest was sparked in me. And back in '93, I ran into Walter Mann, who we all know well, taping an event at the North Haven Knights of Columbus, and he approached me and he said, when are you going to come upstairs and see our studio? And I said, whenever you want me to come up, because back in those days, NHTV was not handicap accessible.
Now you had known Walt when you were growing up as a kid, right?
Yes, we went to high school together. He actually graduated in '83 and I graduated in '84. So we knew each other, and so Walt took me upstairs to NHTV, and I started interning for them, and he approached me one day and he said to me, why don't you do your own show? And I looked at him and laughed. I was like, yeah, right. So I said to him, I said, okay, Walt, I'll tell you what, I'll do the show under one condition. You come on as my first guest. And so what we did was we did a dry run on a Saturday afternoon, just so I could take a look at myself and see what needed to be changed. And then we taped the show 3 days later, and shortly after I did my first episode, I was joined by a good friend of ours who is no longer with us, Mr. Tony Persia.
I remember him.
As my musical director. He actually composed the Talking with Tom theme. And as we say, the rest is history.
The rest is history. Definitely.
Tom, 21 years is a long time to host any show. What do you feel is the most challenging in putting together your particular show?
Well, in my case, the most challenging thing is the weather. As we can attest to this winter, I mean, I finally did my first show of the new season this past Tuesday. But that has to be my biggest challenge is, you know, the weather.
Right.
But, you know, I work with a great crew, and, you know, we all know Mr. McCarver. I like to make fun of him, but, you know, he is an excellent co-host. And no, he didn't pay me to say that. But, you know, we often joke because I say hosting the show with me keeps him out of Maureen's hair. So
Right.
that's a big plus right there.
So, transportation issues have pretty much kept you away from North Haven,
Yes.
but you are up and running here in Wallingford again.
Yes, I am back at WPAA here in Wallingford.
This
But
is your second tour in WPAA, right?
yes. But not to worry.
Mm-hmm.
The show will still be on YouTube, and it will still air in North Haven. I will be sending copies out to NHTV.
Definitely, definitely. So now you have Wallingford and North Haven viewers getting to know you. So
Well, hopefully I picked up some viewers that watched previously when I was in Wallingford. So I'm hoping that you know, the audience will continue to grow.
right, definitely.
And of course, with your permission to help you grow your show, as we all like to have our shows grow and reach a wider audience, we'd like to make an offer, Jay and I would, to help you get your show on ETV.
Oh, I'd love that. I'd love that.
Definitely, yeah. ETV has their studios Hemingway Avenue,
Right.
right? And get the ball rolling on that. Definitely.
I have-
More viewers, the merrier.
I have some family in East Haven, so I'm sure they'd appreciate it. They'd be able to see the show as well.
Right. And also, this day and age with technology and different forms of communication, social media, there's something they call, something that it's a show done strictly on the internet referred to as a podcast.
Yes.
Different sites, you know, charge different things, whatever, some are free. There's a, you know, you ever consider exploring that for maybe down the road?
I have been looking into it. There is one site that I just checked into, and if I want to do both video and audio,
Mm-hmm.
it's just over $100 a year for an entire year.
So?
So it may be something I might do down the road.
Right. Not anything you wouldn't roll out, that's for sure. I know your love of professional wrestling, for people that might not be aware, Dan and myself, along with John Zimmerman, do a wrestling show, professional wrestling known as the Squared Circle, where that's our topic of conversation out of North Haven as well. And Tom Dacey here is still involved with not really so much on the air anymore, but
Unfortunately.
right behind the scenes definitely still plays an active role in the Squared Circle as well. A lot of wrestlers have had successful podcasts.
Yes, Chris Jericho,
Steve Austin,
Steve Austin.
Jim Ross. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tom's a very integral part of the Squared Circle, big part of our wrestling, on our and off air wrestling family.
Right.
But here in Wallingford, Tom's known by lots of people unofficially as the mayor of Wallingford.
Of course, Mayor Dickinson might have something to say about that, but a lot of people do call me the mayor.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I have to gripe with our host today because he does have a picture of Mayor Dickinson on his wall. I said, "Where's my picture? I'm the mayor."
Right.
So hopefully, at my anniversary show coming up, hopefully Mayor Dickinson will be in attendance and we can get that picture together and it'll go on the wall.
Maybe we can see who the true mayor of Wallingford really is.
Well, it'll be great to the anniversary of your show. I know you've been trying to put that together for several months, but due to
Thank you, Mother Nature.
the weather situation.
Right. We have a nice warm day out here for a change. This is actually the first time I wore a short sleeve shirt outside all year.
You know, and I joked with our host today. I joked with him earlier this week. I said, yeah, the weather's getting better, but watch, my luck, we go to do the anniversary show, we're liable to get a hurricane.
Stand back.
But
And we are, of course, at our host location today, which is American Steam, 92 Quinnipiac Street here in Wallingford.
Right. Definitely,
proud sponsor of the Squared Circle.
proud sponsor of the Squared Circle.
I understand, Tom, you're a stockholder?
Yes, all my meetings are done here, and everyone knows if they can't find me at home, they know where to find me.
This is your office away from home nowadays.
Yes.
Right.
Now, Tom, I understand also you're a very integral part of helping people and passing good things forward. One of your events is your Tommy Palooza. Can you tell us about that?
Absolutely. A few years back, I'd say it's about 9 years ago now, I was very fortunate to meet a mother and daughter from Southington, Margaret Burke and her daughter Rita Duran, and they both have Arnold-Chiari syndrome. And they were in a situation where, because of their insurance situation they were in, they weren't able to get the necessary surgery that they needed. And so I had them on my show to try to put a plea out, and after doing the show with them, I decided to have an event to help raise money for their medical costs. And once I did the first one, I said I want to make it an annual event. And in all the years that I've been doing it, I've raised a total of just over $9,000.
That's quite amazing.
I've done it for muscular dystrophy, United Cerebral Palsy, leukemia, lymphoma, and I did one for NHTV a while back.
You did one for NHTV over at the old J-Rooms.
Yes.
Right, I remember that.
So, I mean, that, you know, but I have a great support staff with that as well. This past year's was for Concerts with Causes, and they were raising money for the Imagine It Fund, which is for music education in the schools. And so I just partnered myself with Concerts with Causes and T's Promotional Entertainment, Tina Taylor out of East Haven as well. And it's going to be a permanent partnership, and between the two of them, they will help me line up the entertainment for the event.
Now, speaking of the entertainment and lining things up, what exactly goes into putting the event together?
There's a lot, believe me, between trying to coordinate everybody's schedules, and then I go around where I can get to around the local area and drop off prize donation forms for the raffle. And, you know, between the three of us, we get all the areas covered, and I try to get everything turned into me at least a week to a week and a half prior to the event, so we can put the prize packages together, and it's a lot of work, believe me.
And when you go around to the different stores, the different businesses, you feel that they're fairly receptive?
Absolutely, especially here in Wallingford. Wallingford has been great. Our good friend Efren Nuevas from Tata's, he has donated the food every year for the event. And let me tell you, he donates a good portion, so there's always plenty of food.
Right. When we hungry, it's your own fault.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
And I know it's early, but any ideas where you may go musically this year? with it?
Have not discussed that yet. I am in the stages now. Within the next month or so, I hope to take a road trip up to Springfield, Mass. This year. It's going to benefit a charity that is near and dear to my heart, and that's Shriners Hospital, Children's Hospital in Springfield, Mass. That's where I had all my surgery. So I'm doing it for Shriners this year, and so we're going to take a road trip, hopefully within the next month, so that we can go up there and get some video footage of the hospital, so I can have a nice video presentation at the event.
Definitely a good thing for people to see. It's a great facility up there.
Yes, it is.
Do a lot for people.
Absolutely. Spent many a holidays there.
Right. Do you have an actual location this year?
I'm probably going to do it where we had it last year, over at the Italian Club again, over on Dudley Avenue. That seemed to work out well for us last year, so I'm going to try to get there again this year.
Definitely. I'll have to definitely attend now that I have my schedule free on Sundays. If it's going to be on a Sunday, I can definitely attend. The only one I've ever attended was actually Gator, but I did have a great time.
Yes, and you know, all of the artists donate their time. We want to say that up front. So I mean, it's wonderful for them to come out and support what we're doing. And, I mean, our good friend Arlene Wow, who will be here with me on our anniversary show, she felt bad she was not able to make it last year because right at the beginning, she was there from day one. She was there just about at every Tommy Palooza. And I remember one Tommy Palooza I did, she was quite a trooper because one of the performers wasn't able to make it. So Arlene pulled double duty. She did 2 sets that day, and let me tell you, she was quite a trooper.
Arlene, we can go ahead and mention at this time, will be joining us on Good News Now on the 18th. We're fortunate enough to bring her in, and we met Arlene through yourself and through hearing her play here at American Steam. So it's good. Through the years you develop and you're able to keep a lot of those contacts.
Absolutely. Matter of fact, one of my other contacts is Doug Allen, and Doug has been a good friend for the years. Matter of fact, if you listen now to my Talking with Tom theme, it was redone with Tony Persia's blessing a few years back.
Right.
Redone by Doug Allen. To kind of pass a note here. Excuse me 1 second.
Oh, okay.
Oh, if you want to run these down, these are who I've done the Tommy Paloozas for in the past years.
That's the total number right
Yep.
there. Mothers and daughters.
Yeah, that was the one I told you with the Arnold Chiari.
Arnold Chiari. United Cerebral Palsy. MDA, that was in 2008. Leukemia, lymphoma in 2009. Connecticut Special Olympics back in 2010. I gotta talk to you for that. Definitely. Dry Dock.
And Masters Manor.
Masters Piano.
The food pantry here in Wallingford.
Masters Piano is the food pantry. Dry Dock is a great organization here in Wallingford too.
Yes. Yes.
Right. NHTV, of course, back in 2012. Concerts with Causes in 2013. And Imagine It Fund 2014.
Yeah, well that was for their Imagine It Fund.
Oh, that was
the same one in
it was the same one too?
214, yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's quite quite some accomplishments there.
And that's, again, $8,000.
Yes.
$8,000.
You've raised by putting this together.
Yes.
That's like I just can't say it enough.
$8,000.
That's tremendous, Tom.
Thank you.
That's if I'm doing my math correctly, 678, 901. That's 9 years,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, we skipped a year because
You did skip a year.
when I was sick 2
Okay.
years ago, so we skipped that year.
Skip that year.
So you're at this moment in time, you're feeling up and positive and healthy.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Definitely, it's great things to come for the future of that. I think it's tremendous.
I'll keep doing it as long as the good Lord will let me.
Right. Did you ever consider filming the event and running it on public access?
Yes, it's just a matter of if I'd be able to get somebody to put in the long hours that we put in, because we normally have a 5 to 6 hour event. So it's a long day.
It's definitely, maybe through the editing process, get it down to maybe 2 hours, something like that. Of course, 2 hours you would see on television,
Yeah.
right, just a little recap of it, I think viewers out there would definitely love to be able to watch it.
And I would love to be able to get Mayor Dickinson in attendance. I've gone to him every year and given him a complimentary ticket. But I guess, with his schedule and whatnot and
Right.
wherever he has to be. But do you know he's even turned around when I've given him the ticket and has made a donation. So we want to thank the mayor for that.
Mm-hmm. And that's just out of his own personal,
Yes.
got nothing to do with him
Nope.
being the mayor.
No, out of his own personal pocket.
Right. Here in Wallingford, they've had the same mayor since, I believe, 1981 he's been in office.
I don't know, is it 81 or is it 83?
It's been 30 years, so whatever it dates back to, right?
30 years.
Something like that.
A lot to be said about that. That's
As we ask our studio audience over here.
I know. Right.
Well, when he comes down on the 14th, we're gonna ask him that question. We'll get some info on that.
So Tom, going back to your early childhood, is there anything that stems from that possibly makes you such an outgiving, caring person?
As I said, from time to time, it has to come from my parents. Because I get my fighting spirit from my mother. When I was born, the doctors told my parents, this kid will never walk, talk, or see. Institutionalize him, forget you ever had him.
You.
My mother heard that, and she says, thank you very much. And I was the first one in North Haven to be fully mainstreamed in public school. I was going down to Aces in New Haven,
Mm-hmm.
and my mother's like, he doesn't belong here. So I had a good friend of ours who was a kindergarten teacher in North Haven, Alicia Clapp.
Know her very
My
well.
mother would bring me up to her class, and I'd just go in periodically. And then I didn't start public school till the age of 7. I went into the 2nd grade. Well, then after that year, the school closed. So they said, well, my mother wanted me to go to Mill Road
Right.
because that's where Carmen Lucibello was from Center School,
Right.
and Betty Fitzpatrick, the social worker. So I went in, and they said, well, he really didn't have any first grade, so they decided to keep me back in 2nd grade.
Okay.
So I stayed back a year, and otherwise I would have graduated with Wall.
Right.
And so then, through my years of schooling, my mother constantly would have planning and placement meetings, about my schooling and whatnot. And one thing I remember was when I went to Orchard Hill junior high school. As you know, that was 3 floors.
Oh, definitely.
And of course they had an elevator, which enabled me to get from floor to floor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, my mother's concern was, what if there's a fire? How does he get out? Because he can't use the elevator. And their policy was, oh, when the fire alarm goes off, go to the nearest classroom, pick up the phone, let us know where you are. Well, what if the fire is right there?
Right?
Well,
By that time you could have gotten out.
well, somebody, to this day, we don't know who did it, but somebody sent a nasty letter to my mother about this whole situation. At that time, Frank Riggs was the principal there. Nicest guy you ever want to meet. He personally contacted my mother and said, I will get to the bottom of this. And he said, don't you worry. He says, if there's ever a fire, I will find him and I will personally carry him down the stairs myself.
Mm-hmm.
But, so I mean, like I said, I get my fighting spirit from my mother. I said, she's gone now, so I gotta keep the tradition going,
Keep the tradition going. Keep on fighting.
Yep.
Definitely. That's just amazing.
Part of being that fighting Irish.
Right.
I mean, another story from junior high school was, I won't mention his name, but one of my instructors did not want my aide in the classroom because he felt it took away from his teaching. So I basically put him on the spot. I said, I'm not going to stand for this. I was like, you don't want my aide in the classroom? Then you take my notes for me. But, that was the kind of thing that I dealt with.
Mm-hmm. But you persevered, you
Yeah.
made it through, and you graduated from the old North Haven High School.
Yes, and, part of that story when I graduated, as a tribute to my mother, I had worked for the whole year previously behind her back to walk up for my diploma. And I'll never forget it because my brothers were all going to a party one night. And I don't know what the heck, but she was giving me flack about not doing my exercises. She wouldn't let me go to the party. And I just blew up at her and blurted it out. I said, that's how much you know. I said, I've been working to walk up for my diploma. And as she heard that, her face just dropped. And the day I graduated, they announced my name, and I walked up across the stage in my walker to a standing ovation by my classmates. And then they also announced as I was crossing the stage, and I wish I could find out, I never found out who got it, but they donated $500 in my name and a scholarship to be given to a student the following year. And I never found out who got it. That would have been in '85.
Some amazing stories here.
Yeah.
I'm learning things about you that I didn't even know.
You've definitely overcome a lot in your earlier years. Well, what is a week like in the life of Tom Dacey?
Oh, let's see. That's one thing. Since I moved out on my own in '97, I have become a lot more independent, and I'm fortunate that where I'm living is right on the bus line.
Right.
So, I take the city bus and I go grocery shopping, things like that. I'm able to, do these things on my own power where I don't have to rely on anybody. But,
right.
I usually get up and nice days I go do my errands and come down here and
When we have nice days now.
yeah, come down here and see Tom for a little bit, and you know, of course, Ephraim over at Tata's. I said he's been a great friend. You know, things like that. You know, I try to support the local businesses the best I can. You know,
Mm-hmm.
gotta support the small guy. You know,
That's right. That small guy might make it big one day. You
absolutely,
can say you knew him when.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Even though he's a Yankee fan, but I won't hold that against him.
Hey. I understand you were up late last night.
Yes, I'm surprised I'm still awake.
Really?
The Red Sox, when you look at it, the Red Sox actually played a doubleheader last night. The game went 19 innings last night. They beat the Yankees 6-5. And as we're taping today, the last I heard, we're winning 8-1. Oh, you have an update?
It's 8-4 final.
8-4 was the final?
Wow.
So they played until
2:15 this morning
2:15 in the morning, and then started up another game
at 1 o'clock this
at
afternoon.
1 o'clock this afternoon. Wow. That's working hard.
So others don't have to.
Bet your life.
And we have been known on our other show to, you know, sometimes cause a ruckus
Right.
with our good friend John Zimmerman,
Of course.
Mr.
No,
Ruckus himself.
Not you guys.
Not us.
Well,
we would never do anything like that.
Well, aren't you and I and Mr. Zimmerman known as the Marx Brothers?
We're the Marx Brothers.
Which one am I, Hardball?
Don't know. You could be whichever one you want to be.
But yeah, you know, I'm hoping to get back to the squared circle one of these days, but it's not looking too good at this moment. I just found out that my driver, who was taking me back and forth, is no longer with the company.
Really?
So he is working another completely different vocation now.
Wow.
So I wish him well, but I'm gonna contact the office on Monday and see if they have any drivers available that might be able to transport me back and forth.
Let me kick this past you, Tom.
Yeah.
You were stated what a fighter you were from your early childhood. You had to be until even into your adult life. If there's somebody sitting at home who's a youngster and facing life with daily challenges, what advice would you give to that child today?
Have a positive attitude. That's what I've always done. Don't let it get you down. My philosophy is, yeah, I may be in a chair, but there's people out there that are worse off than myself. And that's what I try to do. I try to help others out that don't have the opportunities that I was fortunate to have. So that's the way I look at it. You know, stay positive, don't let it get to you.
Right. And with a positive energy, you can have good results.
Yeah, surround yourself with positive people. Get rid of all the negativity.
Right. You have to. You have to try. I mean, it's a negative world we live in now.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Right. You want to be realistic, but you want to, be upbeat.
I mean, Ed McCarver often jokes with me. You know, I remember years back when there was a story on us in the Record Journal. Ed's comment to the reporter was that my biggest handicap was that I was a Miami Dolphin fan. That's Ed McCarver for you.
Right. But he's with the Jets, right?
Yeah. Which stands for just end the season.
You're always kidding him about that.
Yep.
But
We were down earlier at the gazebo down there in the middle before we came to visit with you today at American Steam. We got around fairly well. Have there been any businesses and so forth that have been challenging from time to time?
You know, Wallingford is a historic town, and that's one of the things, unfortunately. There are a lot of nice old shops on Center Street, but unfortunately, a lot of them I can't get into because they're not handicap accessible. I try to support as many local businesses as I can, ones that I can get into.
Right.
But I just wish, like I said, I wish I could get into a lot of the older antique shops.
Right.
I wonder if some of those businesses know that there's not and from time to time you'll hear businesses say this because I've had it thrown my way, that they don't have to update themselves to accommodate residents with disabilities because there's a clause, but there is no clause in the ADA. And so they should update and be willing to accommodate residents such as yourself who need that extra.
Well, I have to say, when I first moved to Wallingford, that is why I continued to do the show in North Haven when I first moved here to Wallingford, because at the time WPAA was on South Main Street on the second floor of the credit union, and they were not handicap accessible. So what I would do at the time was I would take my tapes from North Haven
Right.
and give them to one of the residents who was a board member at the time at WPAA, and they would run my shows here. Well, then WPAA moved to their location at 128 Center Street. So in, I believe it was 2001, I started doing the show at WPAA. And that's how I first got hooked up with Ed McCarver, because when I first moved here, Ed was on the air with John Sullivan, and they were doing a show called Wednesday Night Live, and I would call in periodically to the show, and a couple of times I went up there and watched the show live, and, kind of busting on Ed. And shortly after Wednesday Night Live ended, I joked with Ed. I said, since you're out of a gig now, how would you like to join me as permanent co-host of Talking with Tom? So to this day, John Sullivan jokes with me and says, you stole my co-host. Because I did have Ed on with me, I believe it was shortly after I moved to WPAA.
Right.
I had Ed join me on my Toys for Tots show that year as my co-host. And we referred to him as Eddie the Elf. So,
Eddie the Elf.
yes.
Now the only thing I remember him being referred to as before was Vince Scrawny.
Oh yeah, that's a funny story.
Right.
I believe it was on Wednesday Night Live. I actually showed the clip, I believe, on my anniversary show last year. They had some people from Silver City Boxing in Meriden.
Okay.
And Ed got into the ring, and I believe the girl's name was Melissa. So Ed sparred with her a little bit, and let's just say he got his butt kicked by a girl. But, yep, that was his nickname. Kid Scrawny.
Kid Scrawny.
Yep.
Well, from what I understand, there's lots of young ladies out there who want to kick Hollywood's butt.
Oh yeah. But that's a show that can be dedicated all to me. Right.
I understand, I thought maybe your buddy might be here today. What happened to Saru?
Saru. Oh, he probably.
Is it true that you're a monkey's uncle, by the way?
Saru slipped out of a banana peel and hasn't been seen since. That's what happened in that match.
But who placed the banana peel?
Don't know.
We're still trying to get to the bottom of that conspiracy.
Right. And as you may or may not recall, Lucas Sharp did call it the Squared Circle this past week and dispelled any rumors. We put, as far as I'm concerned, we put this to rest. We weren't discussing business. We weren't discussing doing anything to any monkeys whatsoever.
I don't know, Dan. I did see on the Squared Circle page, though, by the way, that Jay's a monkey's uncle.
I don't know. Who wrote that?
I don't know. I saw it up there.
Who knows? Who knows? But,
So I thought Saru might be here today.
I don't see Saru. I don't see Saru anywhere. I haven't seen. The last I saw Saru was he was being carried out of the ring in New Haven after Lucas Sharp allegedly injured him in his neck. I haven't seen him since.
Well, there still remains out there some highly controversial footage
Right.
of you leaving an adult establishment.
I saw that.
I leave adult establishments a lot. I don't run from that. Just somebody was there with a camera. And
Let's
TMZ or whatever it was.
Exactly.
TMNH maybe, I don't know.
But you became infuriated at the questions that were being asked about the incident.
Right.
You were almost taken aback, almost in a state of denial.
I wasn't denying it. Yeah, I was taken aback because I was just merely trying to go out and enjoy myself one night. And I'm being barraged by this reporter asking me all these questions about some kind of grainy footage of me talking to Lucas Sharp about business.
And saying, did you take care of that business for me? What was that all about?
I don't think I need to answer it.
Anyway, Tom, this show is all about you, my friend.
Right.
And Jay, the viewers can see how agitated our friend Jay here, our
I'm
brother
not
in arms,
agitated
is
at all.
coming at these questions. And like you stated earlier about your show, with Ed McGarver being your co-host,
Yep.
a good part of in life is having a good support system.
Right.
Absolutely.
A part of putting a good show together is having a great co-host. And Jay and I are very fortunate to be working with you today. I don't know about Jay, but
I'm fortunate to be working with both of you. It is my pleasure, as it is yours too, as well.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. So that brings us, that's wrestling talk for those that don't know. We're heavily involved promoting independent wrestling. Definitely. We definitely go out there and support it.
Absolutely. You have to support the indies.
Right.
You know, these stars are the up-and-comers who you may see in WWE in the future, or possibly TNA.
Or possibly Ring of Honor. And, you know.
I just saw a look of surprise on Dan's face when the word TNA came out of my mouth.
Right.
well, that's because I understand there's some people out there who think professional wrestling, they somehow liken it to a circus.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it becomes, very foggy for me how they could do that.
I can't
And
really
we're
stand
such
the
lovely
fog.
for the sport.
Did you see the weather last night?
Yeah, it was foggy, man.
Well, I was watching Thomas the Tank on YouTube the other day.
Right.
And
You were.
And I was flipping through the different episodes, and one, as I was looking out my window that came on, was called The Fog Man, and I totally had to watch it for 2 seconds and skip it.
Wow.
Did you watch that episode yet, Tom?
No, I didn't see it. Was there also a dog in that episode?
Don't believe so.
There wasn't a dog in that episode, but it was definitely not one of the better Thomas the Tank episodes.
No.
Did you see it yet?
No, but I don't happen to watch Thomas the Tank or any Fogmans or anything like that for that matter.
Well, see, luckily I have enough time on my hands when I can sit there and watch YouTube and see those different episodes of Thomas the Tank.
I'll have to go
And
check it
I
out.
can catch Tom's show, Talking with Tom, on YouTube, as well as you're on Facebook as well, right?
Yes. Yes, as anyone knows, when I upload the shows online, I cross-post it to YouTube and Facebook.
Get it out there in social media. You got it.
Sorry with the delay this week in getting the show online, but it's up there now.
I see it.
Mr. Zimmerman called me and asked me if I had put it up online yet. He said he was about ready to get on me for not doing my duties.
Really? You know, you take as long as you want, and Mr. Zimmerman has an issue with that. Let him talk to me.
Well, you know what he was stalling? Because Tom was right here at 92 Winnipeg Street.
American Steam.
American Steam, enjoying the great quality of food.
Right,
They have here to
definitely.
enjoy.
Absolutely.
And, you know, he was probably in a board meeting here.
Exactly. Tom, if I may, what is your favorite food item here at American Steam?
The homemade potato salad.
Gets a rave review from the Thunderous one. Look at that.
And the cookies.
And the cookies. Gotta have the cookies.
And of course, American Steam also, I believe, serves Fox and Park soda.
Right.
And Avery.
Right, and Fox and Park is made right in East Haven, Jay.
Right, definitely.
Right, I believe by your palatial estate.
Right,
Right.
right. Yep. Over there, Fox and Boulevard, Fox and Road, right.
So it truly ties together. It's a small world, but it truly ties all into one. American Steam serves Fox and Park beverage.
Fox and Park beverage comes from the Fox and section of East Haven.
Right.
And Avery is from New Britain, correct?
Avery is from New Britain.
Gotta support the locals.
Indeed.
Support the locals.
And we're very thankful for the support that you've given to these numerous causes over the years. Again, and Jay, if you'll just take a second and read those again for people who may just be tuning in.
If you're just tuning in, these are some of the things that Tom Dacey has worked on with his Atomic Palooza. Mother and daughter with
Arnold Chiari.
which I'm not really too familiar with that disease.
Yeah, it has to do with the spine.
Spinal.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah, and it didn't form correctly, so they get fluid on the brain too, so it's very, very
Can be very debilitating.
debilitating to live
Right,
with.
right,
you
right.
know?
United Cerebral Palsy.
Which
MDA.
is near and dear to my heart.
Near and dear to your heart. Definitely, of course. MDA, Muscular Dystrophy
Yes.
Association. Leukemia, lymphoma. The Connecticut Special Olympics. Dry Dock. Tell us a little bit about Dry Dock.
Dry Dock is a